extremely large storm will be coming to the United States here this coming up week, guys. As we get into the first official second week of May, we're looking through that May 6th and beyond time frame here. We are going to have a chance for, once again, another tornado outbreak, a severe weather outbreak, a day-to-day severe weather event, Monday through Friday, potentially longer than that next week is what the models and Storm Prediction Center are already talking about. We do have significant severe weather today over Texas once again and up into the eastern plains, into the Midwest, and up into parts of the Great Lakes there. That's a more of a lower end threat, but we're going to be talking about a little bit of severe weather today and tomorrow across Texas. Saturday and Sunday look to be pretty decent days across most of the United States, but as we go into that Monday time frame, we are talking about a very, very strong trough ejection that could be bringing the potential for a even bigger tornado outbreak, a significant severe weather outbreak that potentially could be possible for more than what we just saw this past weekend across Oklahoma, Texas, and Kansas. This could be way bigger than what that was potentially. That's if the models continue to agree on the way they're going. But we're going to talk more about that here in a minute. As of today, we have a enhanced risk of severe weather across central Texas. This includes Abilene, Breckenridge, Eastland, Bellinger, Brady areas. If you're anywhere in this level 3 out of 5 risk zone on the severe weather scale, that's an enhanced risk. This is going to be a 5% tornado risk in this area within a 25-mile radius at a given point. We're going to have a hatched 30% hail threat, basically hail 3+ inches in diameter possible, and wind gusts up to 70 miles an hour. And that slight risk, this yellow shading here, including the Fort Worth metro area, Austin, Texas, Killeen, Waco, Temple, Fredericksburg as well, Wichita Falls, Burke Burnett. We're going to be watching for, once again, large hail up to 2 inches in diameter plus. We're also going to be talking about a little bit of winds up to 60 to 70 miles an hour, and a couple tornadoes could not be ruled out as well. We do have a marginal risk of severe weather in that green shading all the way from Texas through Oklahoma, Arkansas, parts of Missouri, eastern Kansas, into Illinois, Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Iowa, and we have a little bit left over here into parts of Louisiana. But all of this is going to be very, very conditional. Isolated thunderstorms popping up as we talk right now through this afternoon. A couple tornadoes could be possible. We did see a confirmed tornado outside of Joplin that briefly touched down in that marginal risk zone. So these marginal risk zones, and as we saw again with Oklahoma a couple days ago, they need to be taken seriously. If you're in a level 1 risk all the way to 5, you need to take these weather risks seriously, because sometimes storms can happen either outside of risk zones or in risk zones that are on the minimal side. And so it's been happening more frequently that we see that happen. And so the professionals up there, sometimes they can miss things. It happens. So when the Storm Prediction Center does highlight this, be aware and watch these videos that I post to you guys. We're going to continue to update you guys on the severe weather events as we go throughout May. It looks to be we also, on the good side of things, we could potentially see a potential ridge develop, maybe a halt in the severe weather as we go through the 3rd week of May. That's still a ways out, and we're going to have to wait for model trends on that. But there could be a potential break maybe with severe weather after we get to this first 2 weeks of May. But next week, guys, looking very, very, very dangerous and significant, and we'll talk about that here as well. Let's go to tomorrow's forecast, and then I'll show you guys the future radar between now and tomorrow. Tomorrow, we also have a marginal risk of severe weather in Nebraska, southwestern Iowa, northwestern Missouri, Kansas, eastern Colorado, eastern New Mexico, Oklahoma, and down into Texas again, where we have a small, slight risk of severe weather for tomorrow, and that is going to be for a couple tornadoes possible, damaging winds, and some large hail as well. And then on our Saturday time frame, we really start to look a little bit less on the severe weather, just seeing a marginal risk for western Texas here for hail and wind. And then on Sunday, we don't have any severe weather at all. So Sunday and Saturday look to be the best days of the weekend here for really just a quiet time before we get ready to ramp this up again in a potentially dangerous scenario on Monday. So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely. Monday's forecast, I'll go ahead and show you guys this now. It is a day 5 risk from the Storm Prediction Center. We do have a slight risk of severe weather on Monday in Nebraska, Kansas, Oklahoma, and northern Texas and western Missouri. I expect this based off of the learning models that we've seen from Colorado State University, some of the other learning models. They've already got this going moderate, potentially moderate level 4 risk out of 5 on Monday. So we're going to have to watch this very, very closely. Very, very strong upper level trough will be coming in on Monday with significant tornadoes, damaging winds, and extremely large hail possible as well. We'll talk about that more here in just a few minutes. I just wanted to give you guys an update on what we could be looking like down the road. As far as the next 48 hours goes on the future models, today we are going to see, like I said, a couple spin-up tornadoes here. We've already seen one up in Missouri. Some widespread ongoing heavy rainfall in Louisiana. You guys need the rain, but not this much at one point, so be mindful of your flooding over there. Over the next couple of hours, we are going to see these storms start to fire off in that enhanced risk zone. A couple hailstorms up to 3 inches in diameter possible. Maybe outside that risk zone as well, we could see a couple 1 to 2 inch hailstorms, some wind, and maybe a brief tornado spin up. That is going to be what happens over the next couple of hours. It's really till about 9 to 10 p.m. that this risk zone is ongoing as of right now. A couple storm clusters developing overnight tonight along the dry line that sets up here into southeast Oklahoma and north of the Dallas area. We'll be watching for a couple of those cells. But as far as that goes, this severe weather risk today, it's very, very minimal. Really not looking at much of anything insanely crazy. Like I said, we might go live for this on TikTok, so be notified on there if you guys are not as well. As we go through tomorrow, look what happens down here in Louisiana tomorrow. That boundary that sets up, we're going to have some very heavy rainfall once again for southern and central Louisiana. Maybe some scattered isolated storms as well that develops tomorrow afternoon. But this is something we need to be paying attention to, is that flood risk. A couple conditional afternoon thunderstorms developing throughout the day across the southeast and Ohio Valley areas and into the mid-Atlantic. Some more severe weather firing off, and that slight risk that'll be issued tomorrow for hail and wind. And then we can see possibly up here where our low is going to be at, a little mini MCS develop, and this could be potentially producing some damaging winds. So I would not be surprised tomorrow if the Storm Prediction Center does upgrade to a slight risk across the Central Plains, Northern Plains, and Western Missouri Valley areas here. We'll be watching this for you guys tomorrow night as well. But that'll be overnight hours that line comes through, and then it kind of falls apart as the sun gets ready to come up, or before the sun comes up on Saturday morning. So, today looks to be the worst throughout the weekend. Tomorrow's more about wind down period. Saturday looks pretty good as far as weather goes for most of the United States, and Sunday looks gorgeous right now before we have a very, very big disturbance. You can already see that low sitting off the coastline. That'll be bringing some widespread heavy rainfall to the west coast here, California all the way up into Oregon, into Washington State. Be heads up there if you live on the west coast for heavy rainfall. But that is going to be our next storm system that goes lopsidedly negatively tilted, and that'll be bringing us a significant severe weather event that'll be possible. And we'll go ahead and we'll talk about that. I will go ahead and show you guys what the Storm Prediction Center is saying. And as we go as of Monday, like I said, all modes of severe weather will be possible. Large hail, damaging winds, and a couple possibly intense tornadoes, a couple strong tornadoes not being ruled out with this, potentially, in my opinion on this so far. Photographs definitely favoring that chance for tornadoes from Kansas all the way to Nebraska, South Dakota, Oklahoma, and Texas. And if we go as well and look down here in that second to last paragraph, they're really honing in on those upgrades. So future upgrades will be likely as we go throughout closer to that Monday time frame. So definitely have your weather action plans in place if you live in the plains again on Monday, as we could see a bigger significant severe weather event. And here's what's interesting about Tuesday through Thursday. Significant severe weather events will be possible from Texas, Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi. This does not include the Ohio Valley. I'm going to go ahead and throw my 2 cents on this. The learning models, a lot of the model trends are showing a big potential severe weather event across the Ohio Valley. We're going to watch this very, very closely. Would not be ruled out if the Ohio Valley eventually gets put in here at some point. I don't know why it's not included yet, because I don't know on that one, guys. But there definitely is going to be that. And if we go and we look at the learning models, day 3 through 8. So this is going to be, we'll go ahead and start on Monday. That severe weather risk, a hatched moderate and enhanced risk for Oklahoma and southern Kansas. As of right now, this will change, but significant severe weather, high-end severe weather probabilities being issued by the Colorado State University learning AI models, analog models as well, starting to pick up on this, but we're going to really have to watch that Monday time frame. As we go into Tuesday, that yellow shading and that red shading showing significant severe weather potentially again from northern Texas all the way into the Ohio Valley, Tennessee, Kentucky, West Virginia, Ohio. You've got multiple states in this potentially on Tuesday. And then we go to Wednesday's forecast, and it looks to be that the Kentucky, Indiana, Ohio, and Illinois, and parts of Arkansas see even more significant severe weather in that orange or in that yellow and red shading there on our day 7 potentially. We don't have a day 7 or a day 8 yet, but I would expect those to get issued not here pretty soon. And then we have another on our Thursday time frame, more significant severe weather possibly in Kentucky, through the Ohio Valley, Western North Carolina, Central North Carolina, Eastern North Carolina, Tennessee. You name it. There's going to be multiple opportunities for severe weather throughout next week across much of the United States. I did just want to show you guys that here very, very briefly. What is our trough going to look like? Well, we're going to get this storm system that we have out of here today. That trough is officially going to move back up into Canada. We should have a couple days of quietness on Saturday and Sunday for most of the United States. That southwesterly flow down here, let me go back to it so you guys can see it. This is what's aiding in that severe weather today and tomorrow and Saturday across Texas. A strong little mini trough ejection here out of the West Pacific. This typically causes this in Texas and in Louisiana. It's nothing normal. But if you guys are watching on the left side of my screen here, this is our next very, very large storm system, and this, in fact, could be the largest significant severe weather event we see all year. I know I said that last week when that tornado outbreak happened, and I didn't think we'd see anything else quite yet compared to that size, but this one is definitely getting very, very close. Going on to Monday afternoon, a very, very strong, negatively tilted trough over the Rockies, the Four Corners there up into South Dakota. What this is going to do is pull in very, very high humidity dew points. It's going to be, we're going to have a strong mid-level and upper-level jet. We're going to have instability that'll be pretty much existently off the charts at some point. Instability values will be there. We'll probably have a little bit of a cap in place. I don't think the cap will be too much of a problem. We'll talk more about that as we get closer to the event. But this being a closed low, I want to make that note. A closed low pressure system means more wind direction change with height. And with this being a closed low by Monday afternoon, that tornado risk is going to go skyrocket up a lot. So I'm really thinking that tornado risk being Kansas, Nebraska, southern South Dakota, parts of Oklahoma and Texas will see that conditional tornado risk as well. And then as we go into Tuesday, that trough ejection over the Missouri, parts of Illinois, parts of Iowa there into southern Wisconsin, southern Montana, maybe into Oklahoma as well, starting to see those winds down here towards Texas and Oklahoma and into Louisiana. So Tuesday and Wednesday, we don't have outlooks yet, but if we could issue something by myself, I'd probably see a slight risk. It could go anywhere on Tuesday potentially. And then as we go into Wednesday as well, that trough ejection really now over the Ohio Valley area into Wednesday and Thursday. We're going to be watching for that significant severe weather event once again there. Like I said, if it does go to fruition, I'll probably be out chasing on Tuesday and Wednesday. So we'll be aware here on YouTube that I might be chasing next week potentially. At least one of the days I'll probably get out and chase. We'll just see what happens with it. And as we go into Friday, that trough finally kind of pushes out over the weekend, and we should get back to a little bit more of a quiet period. I've said that before, and these models change drastically, but a lot of this, the trends towards the middle of May do look actually pretty decently quiet, except down here in Texas, where we could continue to have a strong southwesterly enforcing for severe weather. And just thunderstorms in general. As we go, let's go ahead and let's look at our low-level jet. I want to talk about this as well because the low-level jet is very, very concerning as far as the Monday time frame goes. As we go up here into Monday afternoon, I'll kind of just stop it right about there. That is around 6 p.m. on Monday, give or take a few couple hours. You're starting to see a lot of southwesterly winds. The further closer you go to the low, the lesser that you'll see that forcing with your tornado potential. But if I had to guess where our potential would be at as of right now, based off of our stronger tornado risk, like I said, where that slight risk is at, Oklahoma, parts of northern Texas, Kansas, really looks to be Kansas and Nebraska start to see that bigger significant tornado risk, is in my opinion right now. And then as we go into Tuesday, that southwesterly flow really starts to ramp up on Tuesday. We could see more significant tornado risk potentially for Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Missouri on Tuesday and into Tuesday afternoon and into Tuesday night potentially, where that low sits and goes north. And then we'll get a little bit of a surface low develop on Wednesday as well, where we could see potentially a tornado risk in Kentucky, Tennessee, northern Mississippi, Arkansas, with that low-level jet right around 30 to 40 knots. You don't need a strong low-level jet to produce tornadoes. The stronger the low-level jet, the better would be, but that's something we'll watch. What does this look like on the future models as far as this goes? Well, the European model actually showing that significant severe weather all the way through Monday here. Storms possibly pretty significant in Texas and Louisiana on Sunday. We'll watch that for some heavy rainfall. But we want to watch this trough that comes in. There's our low right around 976 millibars on Monday afternoon at 6 p.m. Very, very strong low here. So that severe weather risk on the southeastern quadrant of your trough. You can see those showers and storms developing on Monday nights into Tuesday. They'll extend into Iowa. We'll probably have a linear line coming through Monday night into Tuesday based off of what I'm seeing with the model trends. And as we go into Tuesday, this is where we start to see that day-to-day convection. Ohio Valley into the Ozarks, parts of maybe down into Texas and Louisiana. I haven't seen too much down there yet as far as these model trends go, but the dew points and instability will support that if it's there. But Illinois, Indiana, Kentucky, Ohio, Missouri, you guys got to be aware for some significant potential severe weather next Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. It's just this day-to-day time convection that we see popping up, and that's all the way to about Friday, and then that low officially pushes out, and we could actually set up that, like I said, that drier pattern, not cold air, but pretty decent cool down potentially on the way. I know it's 90 degrees outside here today where we're at here in Western Kentucky. Temperatures next week, the end of next week, could plummet as we go to the third week of May. We could start to see that high pressure set over the central plains, and that would bring significant dry weather to much of the United States if that happens. Another thing I want to look at as well, that is going to be the instability that we're going to have, and we really don't have to look at this if we don't want to, because it's all there. But significant instability will be there Monday through all the way through the Ohio Valley. You can really see those instability values pushing 35 to 4,000 plus instability on the joules per kilogram scale there, and then this eventually starts to kind of meander down as it gets closer to that Saturday. So I see a multi-day severe weather outbreak once again starting Monday, being potentially tornadic as far as outbreaks go. We'll continue to watch this, but Monday looks to be a pretty decent tornado risk as well. It's significant as well if that continues to uptrend. And then Tuesday through Friday, the Ohio Valley, Dixie Valley, Mississippi Valley, Tennessee Valley areas, Mid-Atlantic need to be on alert for day-to-day severe weather. Everybody not see severe weather because it's going to be kind of coverageal in different areas, but we're going to have to watch this this very, very closely as far as the next couple of days goes. I will be posting daily here on YouTube and on TikTok, as well as live streaming each day to talk more about this as we get closer to this event. If anybody does want to help support my Chase Fund for next week, my Cash App is linked in my, I believe in my description, or it's in my labels. You guys can find that as well in my bio. I do appreciate you guys for watching this video. Make sure if you guys have any comments or questions, feel free to put them in the chat. I'll try and answer them later on throughout the day. I appreciate y'all for watching. To stay safe, have a weather action plan in place. Get ready for next week because it is going to be a busy week. I will see you guys in the next video update tomorrow. I appreciate y'all for watching and stay safe.